the way to play drums to this kind of music, or to this, is it absolutely different? Did you have to invent a new style on playing drums, or is it the same way? It's just you have to think about the rhythm.
I think there was more of an emphasis on the rhythms this time around, wasn't there? And I think, you know, our approach was, you know, was finding a good pattern. You know, generally in the past you've had these great dynamics going on in the songs, and you kind of accentuate that with the drums, but just trying to find these grooves which you could actually provide like a basis for a song to be built on. Actually,
and the albums were so much more sort of bass and drums, rhythm driven than we've ever done before.
And also, you know, bringing in programmed stuff as well.
Exactly.
Johnny doing stuff on the AAS.
Yeah.
Tom doing stuff on.
Yeah.
So, you know, it's kind of, we just, as with everything, I think we try to keep as open a mind towards how we can generate rhythms, whatever.
There was a night quote of a friend of mine. We watched the concert together, and he said, "It's really nice that there is a band like Radiohead who can do these kind of songs and can perform them in front of 10,000 people. If 90 or 95% of any other band would do such an album, nobody would listen to it, probably. What do you think? Do you have to have this background to have the possibility to do such an album or such an album?
Yeah, you do. You really do.
Yeah, I don't think... Sorry.
You kind of... It's the thing that after a record like OK Computer, it's given you something that you know that the next album that you release, people are going to listen to it, and hopefully they'll listen to it a few times, having realised the kind of band that we are. You know, like, you know, OK Computer takes a few listens to get into, and yeah, totally. I think you sort of, and for us it was like, right, you know, we really can make any record we want to make. This is the chance. There aren't any pressures from the record company. There aren't any pressures to sell. It's like, and that's when it's, then that's when it's really, really, it's actually really empowering. It's scary as well, because you've got all this freedom. You can take as long as you want. You can do it how you want. There are no, but it's you've got to do it. I think we felt we had to do it, and it was really hard. But
yeah, also because you think without those constraints, and it shows in a way you have that anxiety. Well, you know, I'm actually good enough to do this as well, because there isn't anything that's just saying, you know, you've got to do this in a certain time, so you have to make do.
Yeah.
You know, it shows up how good you are.
That's right. In a way. And you like the comparison with someone like Bowie.
Yeah.
You know, when you think of Bowie in the 70s, and you think of like, well, hang on a sec, we're in a situation where we can do a Bowie. And how good are you actually in the scheme of things? How do you compare yourself with people like these great artists that you admired, and then suddenly you've got the opportunity to do what some of these people have done? It's like, fuck, you've got to, you know, you have to do it. And the thing is that you go out on a limb, and some people really don't like you for doing that. You know, they really don't like you for doing that. But the people who do like you are I think they realise that, hang on a sec, that's a really bold, brave move, and I like this record, and you know, they're serious about what they're doing. You know, they're on a journey, because like we're all interested in bands and musicians who are on some kind of a journey. You know, we like to see, you know, how bands develop when we're fans of a band. So yeah.
And there are people out there who are much more out there than we are as
completely.
well. So,
yeah.
You know, it's how we can actually, you know, bring that back into our band setup. Really, I think.
Yeah.
That's how we could marry all the different things together.
I mean, and also that whole thing as well. Like you take some, you know, the obscure electronica or whatever and stuff you've been listening to, but when you can. What we're really good at is sounds and melodies, and when you can harness those elements and then put melodies on them, it's like, or if you've got Tom singing on them, it's like, you know, and that's how you make it your own as well. That's how you're different from everyone else. So you're not like that electronica, you're not like that. You know, you keep aiming and you miss, but in missing you find your own thing. Yeah. And that's what Lennon said, and it's true.
So let's take Bowie in the 70s. Let's take Metal by Pink Floyd. and let's take the Satanic Majestic Requests by the Rolling Stones, and probably let's have a kind of view what followed them. I mean, the Stones, at least 2 or 3 albums later, they were doing the rock stuff again.
Well, they were making their best albums though, about an album and 2 albums later, I think. You know, Let It Bleed and Sticky Fingers was, you know, the Stones at their height. You know, it was rocky, but they found their groove, they found their swagger. You know, even Exile on Main Street and stuff.
Well, what I wanted to say is there many bands are proved to do this experience stuff. I would never say you would, but they come back to the traditional thing. Would you say that there is no? But what is your view forward?
I don't think we you know, I mean, if you look at songs which we did within the sessions, things like Optimistic, How to Disappear, Knives Out, you know, there's quite a lot of songs there which actually fall into, you know, a more accepted way that Radiohead work or something. So, you know, we still respond, we still get excited about those elements, but we're not actually going to say, okay, let's go ahead and make our rock album again.
No.
It's not that. As you know, we do need that kind of breadth in what we're doing to actually keep us interested when we're working. So I mean, I think that's how we'll carry on. There will be that. You know, we will put our feelers out into lots of areas, I think.
What's special on Rickenbacker guitars?
What's special?
Yeah.
Ed plays them.
No.
What can be more special than that?
They're the first guitar I bought when we signed as a band. You know, you get given the money as a Rickenbacker, and you know, it's just they're so unique. They sound very distinctive, and they look the coolest guitar out. I mean, you know,
More
Pete Townsend, Johnny Marr, Peter Buck, you know, you, yeah, and Rickenbacker's Roger McGuinn. You know, they were a great guitar.
What contemporary music do you listen to?
Oh, that's always the question. Like, you know, when you go to a record store that you can't remember.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, loads. We've got Peaches. I like Peaches. It's great.
I don't think I've been listening to it.
Ryan Adams. Not Brian.
Right.
Ryan.
Okay.
Not Brian. God, no.
Well, recently. Yeah.
Not recently. Not since Run to You. What else have I got? I've got the new Björk album. Been listening to that.
PJ Harvey.
Strokes.
Strokes.
Album. Yeah.
Would you have one? I'd like to have one quote on the Strokes album. What's special on the Strokes album?
I think it's good debut record. I like the sound. I've been listening to it a lot since you said I got it because you, and it is. It's a good debut record, and there's been a lot of hype about them, but you know they sound good. It sounds like it's a tight band.
I got quite prudish about it. I bought it for my 11-year-old nephew.
Really?
And when I got it home, I hadn't looked at the cover when it was in the shop, and I got it back home and my wife looked at it and said, "You can't give this to an 11-year-old. Look at that." So he didn't get it, unfortunately. I've got to tape it for him.
Yeah, I like the bass parts on it. First song.
Yeah.
I guess that was it. The kind of. If you wouldn't have anything to say more.
No. I don't think any of us do we?
Today.
No. Yeah, it's enough for me to do.
Yeah,
this.
exactly.
Really.
Yeah.
Cheers.
Thanks very much. Thanks
Thank
for
you.
thank you.
No.